Today on the podcast is the incredible Rozlyn Warren, founder of Sacred Life Mastery Art. Rozlyn is an intuitive wealth and abundance coach for soul-led CEOs, specializing in helping leaders unlock their full potential by understanding the hidden behaviors that hold them back. She's also an artist, which I am super excited. I'm a photographer. And she is weaving her magic through fiber, paper, and paint when she's not inspiring others to tap into abundance. We're going to dive deep into some of the most common challenges women entrepreneurs face, especially mompreneurs, like procrastination and those sneaky behaviors that can throw you off your game. Rozlyn, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here with us today.
Well, thank you. I am thrilled to be here. There's nothing I love talking about more than how we can get out of our own way. Heavens.
I can't wait. But before we dive into our topic, I would love to hear a little more about your journey, what led you to become an intuitive wealth and abundance coach, and what does it mean to work with soul-led CEOs? I think that concept will really resonate with my listeners.
Wonderful. Well, it's, as you can tell, been a long journey. I have been around the block 15 or 16 times. Let's go that way. And kind of starting with the CEO idea. And I know I've had people go, oh, so you only work with corporate people. And I said, actually, I don't work with corporate people at all. But a CEO, you are in charge of yourself. You are your chief operating officer for your life, your business, your everything. And until we take charge of our own lives, we let everything else around us push us where they want us to go. We kind of become, I've never said it this way before. Until we take charge of our own lives, we're still a chess piece being moved around by circumstances and by others. We think we're actually moving ourselves, but we have this external view that makes us go, no, they're doing that to me. It's because of this. It's all that kind of stuff. And that just cuts us off at the knees because it separates us from our power. So my journey to being an intuitive wealth and abundance coach, the wealth and abundance part comes because, as it turns out, which I go, I wish I'd known this 40 years ago, I am a projector in human design. And so I am here to guide. And in my human design, there are certain gates or energies, and all of that is figured out through your astrology and when you were born and where you were born. And all of those pieces come together. But there are certain gates that are around money and business and finances. Every one of them is lit up. So I can't not talk about wealth and abundance. So it's fun. How to put it this way. That's why it's so natural for me. That's why I have to do it, because it's literally ingrained in my DNA. And I've always been, because, you do all this about, you go all the way back to what you always loved, blah, blah, blah. And I realized I've almost never been not connected to source energy in some fashion or form. When we are all one, and we are all divine pieces of the divine, empowered and living here now. And yet we get separated on this grand experiment of life. It's kind of like, if you think about this life here on this earth is like Disney World. And we go and, until we're probably, I don't even know what age, if you experience Disney, it's the going to Disney World and playing the rides and that taking that teacup ride till you throw up, experiencing Everything. Where you're so tired, you got to be carried out of the park, right? And so that's our beginning years, our childhood, our young adult, our experimenting, trying everything. And then one day you go, I'm just not loving that anymore. The thought of going on that teacup ride one more time is like, no, thank you very much. And then we go, why don't we go to Epcot Center? And that's for our spiritual life, that's when we begin our awakening. That's when we go, this just being rough and tumbled and separated from who I really am, feeling like I'm out here doing it all by myself. I don't really have any support. None of that is true, but we choose to forget it to have this human experience. And then we come back to a time where we're like, I don't like doing this by myself anymore. I don't like being the only one responsible for everything. And for moms, I think we also, at least for me, I did, we fall into this trap of, since I don't have this support that I think I need, that we do need, we're just disconnected from it. Therefore, it is up to me to control everything. I've got to make sure that everyone in my life is happy and healthy and thriving. And I've got to make sure that my business is even thriving. I am the buck stops with me. And while that's a cute sentiment and the just do it is rampant in our societies, we are not in charge. The only thing that we're in charge of, now this is my cosmology, we're responsible for our connection to our authentic self, to our soul, to our spirit, to whatever we hold as the great creator. And you can stick whatever name you want to that makes you happy on it. But whatever got us here, that spark of the divine that enlivens our bodies, staying aligned with that is the job. That's the work. And then everything else will work out and flow out. Now, is there a transition? And is there stuff to work on? Yes, that's the adventure of life.
which makes it fun.
Yes, yes. So when we can hold all of this as a grand adventure, when we hold all of life as an experiment, we can start letting go of that death grip we have on things of, oh my God, if this isn't perfect, I'm trying to write a blog post. But if it is not perfect, it is the one and only blog post. That's how we act. It's the one and only blog post that I'm ever going to put out that's going to attract my people and make the money. And if I don't get, where is the flow?
And that comes with artists too. Like it has to be perfect. The lines have to be perfect. And I love, I had last week's episode was an artist too, and we were talking about that,
Yeah.
when it comes to being perfect and so let me ask you, we all had those days, right, where everything feels urgent, but somehow nothing gets done. What do you think is happening when especially mom entrepreneurs face this kind of productivity blocks?
Yes. And when we say it that way, we kind of all go, oh, yeah, I know what she's talking about. But let's go even more to the hidden, almost more insidious ones of you're not deliberately sitting down to, we'll go back to our blog post. You're not sitting down to write a blog post and then finding yourself over scrolling on social media or those kinds of things. So that's a form of procrastination we're kind of all used to. And I've got the reason behind it, but I also want to look at this other piece, which is you go, I know I'm going to write a blog post today, but then the kid forgets something and you got to make an extra run to school. The husband calls and whatever. Yeah, there sucks away another 25 or 30 or an hour of your time.
Yep.
And then, oh, wait, the laundry is leaking on the floor. All the things. Now, we could normally go, yeah, see, it's really, really hard for moms to run a business. But what I have found, my own life included, is this is all energetic. I'm going to use the word why, but I'm using it judiciously here. Why? Okay, I'm not even going to use it. What was the actual reason the kid forgot something and you had to make the extra run? What is the reason that the machine decided to leak? Why did these things that, yes, are external, that were happened to you? But if everything is energy, which it is, why did they happen? Now, yes, there are times when stuff just happens. Look at me clean up my language. Yes, 100%. But many, 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 many times that is actually set off by your internal energy of, if I create this blog post, my business can grow. And if I have a big business, what do I think is going to happen? Now, not the top layer, juicy, oh, I'll have plenty of money and I'll be a success and everyone will love me. And then my brother-in-law can go because he told me this would never work, right? That's top level. But dig a little bit further down into, what do you believe is going to happen when whatever it is you're planning is successful? My business will grow so big, I won't be able to contain it. I won't be able to take care of my kids like I want to because I'm going to be busy. I'm going to have to hire help. Oh my God, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have hassle. I don't want to even do that. Oh my God, I'll have to pay more taxes.
I think that's the big one.
Hire people to help me. I don't want to do that. And so your internal bottom line safety mechanism, which is all wrapped up into your nervous system, goes, if you're old enough, you remember, warning, warning, Will Robinson. We can't have this. No, this is bad. This is dangerous. Because the thing we don't understand a lot of times is our ego, our personality self, the part of us that is who makes us who we are in this lifetime, that number one job of the ego is to keep you safe. Right. The number one threat to the ego is change. Now, what is it you're trying to do in your life and your business? Is change. Right. Because we are here as divine creatures to expand and evolve and take the universe past where it's ever been before, which means we have to change. So what are we going to do? It's like, and you can feel this. We are pulled in two directions. We are pulled to expand and grow and be and do and have more. And we are being pulled, no, that's not good, that's not good, that's not good. That's what you're feeling when you feel like you're just going back and forth and back and forth. So I am a very big advocate. There are so many people who are that we got to kill the ego. I don't believe that's true. I believe that we are here to learn to love all of us. And if we can't make friends with our ego, we're fighting a part of us that is actually very powerful, very loving, and can be a great support when we get it out of the driver's seat. And so that's the process we're working with. So procrastination is 99, and there's one big exception, which I'll share in a second. 99% of the time, procrastination is nothing more than your internal nervous system attempting to protect you.
To keep you safe, right?
And so it's a matter of going, woo, there I am, doom scrolling again. What are you trying to tell me? And sitting quietly for a minute. Now, what do? We don't sit quietly and have a conversation. We go, I did it again, blah, 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 blah. You add your favorite adjective of what you are because you didn't get to anything you were going to get to today. Or we start in on the blame game. Well, if those 14 different things hadn't happened, of course I would have written that blog post. Internally, you're going, just write that blog post today. No change today. No change today. We're safe. We're safe. I'm glad we are able to laugh at it because that's what it really needs to be laughed at. It's a 2-year-old. Our egos are 2-year-olds. The other thing, and I want to give you a big hint here, that if you can remember this will save you from so many things. Your ego, when it comes up with a scenario or you're asking questions or whatever, your ego comes up with the worst case scenario. Mine always was that if this doesn't work, I will end up being a bag lady. Now, I have family, I have friends, I have things set up. There's no way I would ever end up on the street as a bag lady, ever. Is it a possibility? It's the worst thing that my mind can come up with. So it is always going to bring that forward. So when you learn that little trick, I'm going to be divorced and my kids are all going to be maniacs because I spent all my time doing a business. I don't know what your brain is going to come up with as your worst case scenario. But soon as you hear it, you go, yeah, that's true. That could happen. Thank you for sharing that with me. Because it's like that 2-year-old that pulls on your leg and goes, Mama, and you're in the middle of something, you're on the phone, whatever. It's cooking. Can I not see I'm busy? Putting on mascara. Mama. And finally you go, what? And they go, I love you. And you're like, I could have said what 45 minutes ago and been done with this. Or you feel guilty for ignoring them because all they wanted to say was, I love you. That's your ego. All it wants to do is know, hey, this could happen if you choose to go down this road. And you say, yep, it could. Thanks for the information. And then let it go out and play. And now you can choose what you want to do. But until you come up face to face with whatever it is that it has decided is going to destroy your life as you know it, and acknowledge that, okay, I hear you. Yes, I hear what you're saying. Don't argue with it. Don't try to turn it because it is a fantastic lawyer. You don't argue with it. You just go, yep, you're right.
I love that.
How many of us have been on day-long conversations trying to lawyer something out with our brain? It's like, don't bother. Just thank you. I need that piece of information. Because when you think about it, is that really the worst that could happen?
Right.
Probably not. And if you want to play that game, you can always go, oh, really? And then what would happen? And then what would happen? And eventually you're going to come to a place where the ego will go, I don't know. And you go, okay, cool. Thanks. Bye. Bye.
So you mentioned something about overwhelm. And I'm like, oh, wait. I love that because I have a few questions there when it comes to overwhelm. And I think I forgot my question. So, as moms, because we were mentioning moms and business owners and, entrepreneurs and even the young people listening to today's episode, we can easily feel overwhelmed with juggling so many things. Students, it's my daughter. She has cheer, school. She's doing a dual enrollment in school. She has college and high school. So we can all relate. So for the moms, juggling family and business, how does overwhelm play into procrastination, and what tips do you have for
Well, now,
managing it?
yeah, so sit and feel into it. Overwhelm is nothing but another way that your ego keeps you from doing anything. Now, there's several ways to handle it. Before I go to that, because that's right, that's off. I want to go back to the other reason that procrastination is a very positive thing.
That
And
was
then
one
we'll,
of
and
my
then, yeah,
questions.
and then
I'm
we
glad
will
you're.
we'll look at overwhelm because it's just a piece of this. So 99.9% of the time, overwhelm, any type of procrastination that you do. And that's one of the things I'm going to give y'all a gift because there's a whole list of things we do that sometimes we don't realize, that's me procrastinating, but we don't think of it that way. So I got that for you. It's an assessment. And it's so 99.9% of the time, it's your nervous system trying to keep you from what it perceives as danger because you're going to change. The other is there are times when procrastination is the universe showing you that whatever it is you're doing is taking you down a path that is not where you really, really want to go.
Right.
In other words, you are doing something probably that someone else has told you should do. You should become, I don't know, doctor, lawyer, Indian chief. You should study that. You should create this type of business because that's all that's working right now. You should do this kind of a launch because it's the only way to do it. You should write 15 blog posts every single day to get seen. And you're just like, I can't do that. It's right. It's not right for you. Now, it takes discernment. It takes alignment to get quiet and see, is it the ego just stopping me from growing? Or is this a message from the universe that I'm not supposed to be doing this anyway? Because you want to parse that out. You don't want to throw it in the basket of, I just got to beat myself. Don't do anything by force. The energetics are off. If you are forcing, I'm going to give you all a good example of this. If you are forcing yourself to do something, it's not going to work anyway, especially if it's around client attraction. You might as well not do it. And I know it's a good thing to be in a habit of getting things out there when you don't really want to, but there's that fine line of I'm just banging it out and throwing spaghetti against the wall, or what is really in my business's best interest right now? What lights me up? What do I really want to do? Because once you clean this up, you're going to actually, I know it sounds like I'm saying, oh, I'll just sit around and do nothing. You're going to find that you are actually more productive because whatever it is you're doing, you want to do, you're eager to do, and you can get it done. And you can get it done in such a short amount of time, where before it would have taken a whole day to force yourself to do something. Overwhelm. Here is a wonderful tip. It actually comes from Abraham Hicks. It's called the placemat theory. And it comes from, they were actually sitting and chatting one morning, and Esther Hicks channels Abraham. For those who don't know, Abraham Hicks on YouTube, you'll find 999 million videos. I'm not exaggerating. But she's sitting one day with her husband, and she's like, I have got so much to do. I don't even know where to start. And so Abraham says, okay, because they're at the table with the paper placemats. He says, turn your placemat over. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to get a list, make a list. It'll sound like a brain dump. So just do what you know, brain dump, just write everything down that you've got to do. But this is not a to-do list. This is a turning it over to the universe list. Anything and everything that you have in rolling around in your brain. I got to get to this. I got to get to that. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do the other. Put it on that list with the intention that you are turning it over to the universe to take care of. Now, there are things, because we are the hands, eyes, feet, nose, mouth of the universe on planet Earth, there will be times like the universe could not totally on its own show up and have this conversation with y'all today. The universe needed me to show up and speak to you today. Actually, the universe is speaking to you through me, but I had to participate. So then every day you go through that list and say, okay, what I look at it this way, I'm playing tennis with the universe. Tennis, all the balls are on the universe's court. The universe will lob a ball over to me when I need to take action on it. So I will look at all of the things on the list and I go, oh, yeah, there's that. I'm going to do that. Now, my story I was going to tell y'all. I needed to call insurance, so one of those where, just the thought of having to make that phone call makes your skin crawl because it never goes well. I'm like, okay, I've got to talk to them today. And it was like, no, not going to do that. Okay. Went on for a week. And I'm like, yeah, I really need to make that phone call. And finally, on the following Monday, comes back up. I'm like, I really got to make that phone call. And it's like, yep, make the phone call. I'm like, okay. So I dialed the number, got the lady who had just gotten back from her vacation. If I had called last week, I would have got somebody who didn't know jack about what was going on. I'd have been on there for who knows how long and still not got anything resolved. And guess what? I would have had to call back on Monday. So the universe just let it hang. Okay. Because when you learn that feeling, you don't even second guess yourself anymore. It's not like, oh, am I procrastinating or no, it's just, nope, not doing that. Okay. And you learn to trust. So it took me 10 minutes. I had a delightfully positive outcome. She and I laughed, which is so shocking, right? And so it was beautiful. And it was a beautiful story for me. It also upped my trust level. That when I have that feeling of not yet, to just, okay, not like there's not a million other things I could do. I could actually go read a book. I could put my feet up. I could, if I had any here, I could go play with kids. But I'm not making that phone call, although it feels urgent. It's not urgent until it's been taken care of because the universe is working in the background to bring all what we call the cooperative parts together. Because a lot of the things that you want to do in your life and in your business involve other people. And so all of those other people have got to be energetically lined up so that when you enter the game, it's smooth sailing. Or you can continue, no, I've got to do this. And you can bang your head against the wall continually. And that's where the overwhelm comes in. I have got to do all of this. Well, no, actually, you don't. And once you got all this stuff listed down, you might go back and say, I'm really not into this cheering. I got more things on my priority list that I really, really, really want to do. And although it makes sense and it could be fun and it might look good on my resume that I was a cheerleader, I don't know, but somebody told me that. I'm going to quit the squad. I'm going to give that up. Or you're a mom and your friends who are not interested in having a business have their coffee clutch every morning that started from 9 to 10 and now it runs from 9 to 12 and they want you to join. Well, thank you. I appreciate being included. No. Because you want to run a business. What can you
Right.
do from 9 to 12? Okay, go once a month. But we have things on our plate that do not belong to us. And oh my God, we're fixing to hit the season of tradition. How many things do we put on our plate because we've always done them that way? And so did mama and daddy and grandmother and grandmother, grandmother and grandmother, grandmother. It's a tradition, but
Of people pleasing,
it
pretty
doesn't
much.
fit our lives anymore. It is not who we are. I have goosebumps everywhere. So Spirit is giving you full permission to create your own life and your own traditions. And you can do it without hurting other people's, or I just don't say that. You can do it without being ugly.
Right.
Other people's feelings are hurt. They will get over it.
Yes. Yes.
But you have priorities. You have things that you are here to do. Right now, we are in, as you all know, we are in unprecedented times. The universe, our earth, the whole humanity is shifting out of one energy into the other. It's a big turmoil. It's like if you imagine the ocean, when the wave comes crashing in and then it goes back out, right there, all the little shells are doing this.
Right.
That's what we're in right now. We're in that thing. And we can choose to be going, what?
Right.
Or, no, I'm going to sit on the
Let's
beach.
pause.
Yeah, pause.
Pause. Which that was one of my questions, but I think you already covered that, or I don't know if that was original my question. Like when you're pause, how do we know when we are pausing or taking a break, or is that we're procrastinating?
How does it feel in your body?
Maybe it could be like I feel like I'm wasting my time.
Yes. So if it is true procrastination, you're going to be beating yourself up and feeling bad.
Mm, okay.
If it's okay, I'm done. I'm taking a 20-minute break. I mean, you can even go sit on YouTube for 20 minutes. But if you're like me, you really, really, really have to set a timer for the 20 minutes.
Yes, I do. Which
Yes,
that's
I
why
have
I'm using
permission
the
to be here.
Pomodoro technique.
I have permission to be here 20 minutes, and that's fine. But and here's another thing with the energy, and whether you're on the right path or you're off the path, we are never, ever, ever separated from source energy because we actually are source energy. Source energy is not out there somewhere, it's in us. But the communication, um, our our emotions are our GPS. So we have a soul path that we're on. When we veer away from the soul path, we feel bad because we're wandering off down a different path. And so we feel that separation. When we're on the right path or we're doing what is in alignment with us right now, we either feel neutral or we feel good about it, but we certainly don't feel bad. So it's this idea of something will happen and then we have an opinion about it. I don't get all, we put so many things on your to-do list, number one, but you don't get all the things on your to-do list done. And then you're like, at yourself about it, right? That feels bad. Now, what we're saying is, I'm feeling bad, and I should, because I didn't get everything on my to-do list done. No, that's not why you feel bad. You feel bad because you are saying things to yourself in your mind that disagrees with how source sees you and who you really are. You are not incompetent, stupid, dumb, bad, going broke, or whatever else you happen to say to yourself. That is not true. And so it feels bad. But it happens so instantaneously. We think, see, I feel
I
bad
told you.
because I didn't get that list done. The list has nothing to do with it. The list is inanimate. Don't have a list anyway. Put 3 things on it. I remember we used to do 6 big rocks. Remember the 6 big rock thing? Put 6 rocks on your thing. People were putting boulders on there. And when we find each one of those like you don't go, I'm going to do a podcast. That's going to be my thing for the day. There are 15 different activities in that. Right. Start breaking, especially when you are a mom and you've got or you work somewhere else and this is your side gig. You're getting started. Let's love on ourselves and be realistic and honest about who we are. And some of it has to do with our human design. Like with mine being a projector, well, the number one thing of a projector when people see you is they think you're lazy.
Why is that?
We do not have our own energy. We can't generate our own energy. So we need a lot more rest. We need a lot more downtime. We need a lot of quiet time. However, you all are welcome because what we are actually doing is holding the web of the universe together. That's our actual job. And so we're here playing with everyone. We're guides and we're holding the universe together. Now, generators, and then there's manifesting generators, but generators, they make up the vast majority. They're the people that bless your hearts. I love you. I am married to one. Thank you very much. You're up and out at 6 a.m. and you bust your butt all day long. It would never occur to you not to work until you're tired because that's who you are. That's the energy you have. You generate your own energy. You are out there pounding it away. But a projector is like, no, thank you. I got an hour's worth of work today. I'm feeling really good. But when we're doing, and then you brought up people pleasing, but when we are trying to live our lives based on what society tells us we should be doing, and if we don't fit into that, we're getting better at it. You see this breakdown happening. Yes. But it used to be so structured. If you were not, that's all I said about my kid. He was a star and we kept trying to pound him into a square hole. Oh, it was painful for everybody. Trust me on that one. But when you are trying to do things so that you fit in, and there's where perfectionism comes in, so that we meet the standard, all of those kinds of pieces, they work against you because now you're trying to do things that are outside of who you really are. And so you feel bad. But you feel bad because you are separating yourself from who you really are, from your true life's mission.
I love that you say that because pretty much my podcast is about authenticity in being unapologetically yourself, which is going to bring me, I have a lot more questions and I'm sure we can be here all day going through so many things.
We can do a whole summit by ourselves.
But I cannot let you go without asking you this question. What is one thing, and maybe I'll go back to this one because you we're talking about this, but before I go to that question, so how can we hold ourselves accountable when it feels like life keeps throwing these curveballs and is throwing us on different directions, like we're going everywhere. So how do we keep ourselves accountable? Other than looking for an accountability partner, because I have so many of them.
I know. I don't have time to work because I'm dealing with my accountability partners, right? Number one, and you can get this on my website as well. So I've got it, that gift for you, but I have something called a dance journal kit. Number one, it's getting out of your head. And the monkey parade that runs through your brain that wears you out, that's just a bunch of garbage. If you've never done any of this type of work, 99.9% of every thought you have is not yours. It's coming at you from society. It's coming at you. And don't blame your mom because she just repeated what her mom and her mom and her mom and her mom did. So it's coming generations ago, all this stuff. And when y'all know the first time, you remember the first time you go, oh my God, that's my mother said that. And then something comes out of your mouth, and you're like, I was never going to ever say
that. Especially when you tell your kids. It's like, oh my God, I'm becoming my mom.
I know. I was never going to say that. And your mother had that same thought. So we want to separate out so that we can actually clear our minds, so that we can actually think, and we can get clear on our connection to our alignment, connection to who we really are, so that we can move in that direction and just calm down. This is the biggest thing right now. Well, we are trained, and you think about it, even when you are on vacation, you think about, oh, I coulda, woulda, shoulda, or I better fast as soon as I get back, do that. Because our society has trained us to be anxious, to worry about everything. It's a sign, I'm busy, like it's a badge to wear. No, I'm not busy. Now, I have I change words a lot. Some days I am fully engaged, but I am never busy. Today's a fully engaged day.
I love that.
Tomorrow won't be. Because see, now with my energy, I know that if I have one, I need some space the next one. So I now work that out in my schedule. Another piece is, of course, we talked a little bit about how we literally draw chaos to us. Mm-hmm. So, and especially if you're still locked in the drama trauma thing, where if everything went quiet, you would create drama because that feels comfortable. If I'm not taking charge, fixing something, who am I? My role is that's the fixer. My role is, I have, bless her heart, our son has transitioned, but his wife, and we would just sit back and watch her just stir the pot. And then my daughter and I had gotten out of her train. So she couldn't stir the pot with us, but she couldn't ever not have drama. And I remember being there myself. And you can learn to you bring your spoon back. And so just really looking at, is there anything going on in my life that I'm actually creating? So, okay, this is the third time this month that I've had to take the kid his lunch. What kind of a system can we set up so that the lunch doesn't get forgotten? Or is he old enough that if he actually forgets his lunch again, he doesn't eat lunch?
And that could be hard for a mom to do.
Of course. But what are we raising people that at 45, we got to take them their lunch down to the bank? Or are we raising people that are going to be grown out of our house and capable of feeding themselves?
Drive yourself and buy yourself a burger.
I'll guarantee you, don't eat lunch and he won't be forgetting it again.
Right.
But it's in germane to our question is, where are the messes that are bogging you down? Where can they be corrected? Where can there be someone else taking care of them? Who else can be in charge of that? And I'll tell y'all the story of the Christmas tree. I don't know about y'all, but this Christmas tree thing. I love a good Christmas tree. And I go see plenty of them every year. And I marvel at them. I no longer do a tree. And my mother was actually, she was in her end stages of life, and that's how we ended up moving here. My husband took care of her for her last year of life. He was a CNA. And so we moved in November, no tree. She passed the next November, no tree. The next year, my son, who was, what would he have been? Like ninth grade, 10th grade. He says, can we do a tree? I'm like, sure. So I always put the tree up and put the lights on because that was the most horrific part of it. So if I just did it, then nobody else had to get involved, right? Here I am, fixer. So got the tree stood up. I gave him the ornaments and I said, here's the ornaments, have fun, blah, blah, blah. He put up about 20 ornaments right around the bottom and then he put the box down because he's tired. Okay. Christmas Eve, I moved the box of ornaments back behind the tree with my foot so I could put the presents under the tree. Nothing else got done to the tree because he had to do it and it was hard work and it wasn't fun and he didn't want to do it. We have never put up another tree, ever. And I'm like,
Wow.
it's a tradition. No one enjoys it. We don't have big parties. We don't have a whole bunch of people. We don't have a Hallmark movie around Christmas trees and decorating them, So it's just, but it's one of those things of where am I doing stuff that nobody even actually really wants done?
Oh my goodness. I love Christmas and I love doing the tree.
There you go. As
Sometimes
long
when
as
I
you
don't
love it.
when I don't do it and I don't feel like doing it, my kids love doing that. And
Good.
sometimes they're like, Mom, you don't want to do the tree no more. And I'm like, because nobody helps me. No one helps me. So let's, and they do enjoy it. I'm not going to say,
Yes.
if they listen to this, they're going to be like, don't lie because I do like it.
Well, they do love it when it's done. Yes. But
Yeah.
that's kind of an actual extreme example of all of
Right.
the things that we're carrying on. I worked in a chapel at one point, and once there was some project or something, we couldn't find anybody to help be on the committee. And he said, ladies, there were three of us trying to get this committee together to do whatever it was that we did every year, right? And he says, ladies, there are so many traditions who have died and nobody will bury them. And we're like, you're right, we're done. We're not having, I don't even know what it was. So we just won't have that this year. He goes, sounds like a plan, unless you three want to do it. And we're all like, no, we're already doing it. He says, then bury it. Nobody missed it. Nobody asked about it. Nobody cared.
Yeah,
So
sometimes we think that, like people are going to miss it and people are going to say something. But I cannot let you go without asking you this question because I
all
kept
right.
going and oh my goodness, I have so much questions. But before I forget this one, what is one thing you stopped apologizing for that helped you level up in your business?
Anything and everything. Unless I literally back over somebody with the car, I do not say I'm sorry. You feel into how often you say, oh, sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. It's a meaningless thing to say, and yet it erodes. I mean, I just said that 5 times, and I'm feeling more shrunken than ever. I am not sorry. I am not a sorry person. If I have hurt your feelings, I apologize, but I am not sorry. Sorry I'm late. Sorry I this. Y'all have friends who do that. They never change their freaking behavior, but they're always sorry about everything. If you feel the need to say, I'm sorry, feel into it. And did you actually do something that needs to be apologized for? Or is it just something that you say to, I don't know, placate people around you? Is this, if somebody's really fussing, I think of husbands, about something, is this oh, I'm sorry? Or is this, well, let's have a discussion about why I am the only human who can put water in the dog bowl. I'm not sorry I didn't put water in the dog bowl today. Oh, yeah, it is empty. How about filling it up? So when you can learn to stop taking on the weight of the world, stop being the last arbiter of everything that has to happen so that life runs smoothly. For me, it was so everybody else stayed off my back. I didn't get titched at. Did your mother ever titch at you? You did, and there was I really don't like it when you do that. It was that used to just kill me. Now, whatevs. Poor soul. Hey, right back. But it frees you up to really be in touch with who you are. That, I think, is the other thing. Is this is going to be counterproductive? Slow down. This multitasking is a lie. Now, yes, you can talk on the phone, especially if you have a headset, and stir dinner, but you cannot eat dinner, talk on the phone, and be with your family. You just can't do it. And because we're in a hurry and because we're trying, but what that does is it takes you out of the present moment. And our life is actually lived in the present moment. And it's where our connection, when I love your theme, the connection to your authenticity can only be found in the present moment, not in the past and not in the future. Now, it used to bug me when I was first trying to learn this. Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle, love it.
Yes.
Love it. However, I always was like, how can I be in the present moment? I've got to plan so and so and so. I need to know where I'm going. I need to show up on Thursday for this interview. I got to plan it. Okay. Putting the interview, filling out the form, putting the interview in my phone, that is a present moment activity. Sitting and mulling over and wringing my hands about what I'm going to say on this interview, that is in the future. And that is a waste of time. So it's calming down, slowing down, and being in the present moment. Then there's nothing to be sorry for.
I love that. Thank you so much for all the wisdom, all the experience that you share with us today. Where can people find you and connect with you and learn? And something that you did pretty awesome is that you put the name of your my background is in web design. So I'm like, okay, when I ask this question, her website, it's the name of her company. And it's so awesome that you put the Sacred Life Mastery, that art. I thought that was brilliant. Because you didn't use .com, you use that art, which is awesome. I love it. So where are you most active?
Well, they can pick up their gifts and things there. And I think that I sent you a link to the assessment. So I'm assuming that'll show up underneath the podcast. And when you go to sacredlifemastery.art, you can get the dance journal kit. So that will be there. I'm also on Facebook and I'm on Instagram, but you can find everything over at sacredlifemastery.art. And then in the assessment, I was surprised when I was putting it together, even all of the different things that I just think is normal, but yet it is a sign of what I call goal trauma, which is you'll learn about that in the assessment, but it's all these different ways that our ego tricks us into procrastinating so we don't have to grow. And when we realize that that's all it is, and that yet our biggest impetus in our being is to grow, who's going to win?
That's right. Something I love that you said that now at the end, and I'm like, oh, she's dropping the mic. But something that stood out for me today a lot was, and I wrote it down, making a friend with our ego and taking her out of the driver's seat.
Yes.
I love that. So to all the incredible entrepreneurs tuning in, remember that your growth, and she mentioned about procrastination, that your ego doesn't want to let you grow, starts with the understanding that your patterns and taking small step.
Mhm.
Wait, I don't think I make sense with that. Understanding what your patterns are, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
taking small steps forward every day. She mentioned a lot of things to
Yeah.
that you can do today, and just go back and listen and listen and listen. And if you enjoy this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review. That's how other people find out more about us, about Rosalind's work. And remember to be authentically and unapologetically yourself. Until next time, keep leading with resilience and purpose. Thank you so much,
Mm.
Rosalind.
Thank you.